Hi, everyone. My name is Kristen Otto, and I'm from Washington University in St. Louis, one of the co-hosts of Equalize with our partners at Osage University Partners. We started Equalize about 3 years ago to take national action around the disparity of academic women inventors informing university startups. We're now in our third year, and we are actively recruiting more women to apply to become part of the 2022 cohort. Today, I have two women who have participated in the Equalize program here to share a little bit more about their experiences and hopefully answer your questions and encourage you to apply for the program. Our applications for next year's cohort are due November 10th, 2021. So without further ado, I'm going to have them introduce themselves and have them tell you a little bit about their technology and their startup and why they applied to be part of the Equalize Pitch Competition program. Martina, can you get started for us?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Kristen, for having me today. It's a super exciting program. And as Kristen said, my name is Martina Roos. I was an assistant professor at UCLA, where my laboratory worked on developing small molecules that target RNA binding proteins. And we had several projects progressing, and I've worked with novel chemical matters. And so I was really interested to spin the technology into a company. And so we founded Sardona Therapeutics. About at the same time, I decided to apply to Equalize, to really looking for a platform to build the network, and to find with investors, to build a network with drug development professionals and executives in the field. And so that's when I applied, and I was fortunate to be accepted, and really found a great basis to really move the project, but then also the company forward. And we're today a team of 6 people, and we are excited to grow and advance the company to really build on the platform, which was spun off from UCLA, to develop novel small molecule that target RNA binding proteins to treat patients with therapy resistance. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Martina. And she was part of our inaugural cohort of women for Equalize 2020. And just last week, we had the Equalize 2021 competition, in which we again had 2 categories. So each year we have 12 pitchers, 6 in medtech and 6 in therapeutics. And our overall winner, as chosen by our judges for 2021 in medtech, was Gule Bilan-Rosas from the University of Wisconsin. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so excited, like Martina, to be here because it was an amazing last 9 months. My name is again Gule Bilan-Rosas. I'm an assistant professor of anesthesiology. I am double boarded in adult and pediatric anesthesiology, with pediatric anesthesiology as my love. I'm also the co-founder of Airflow, and my research and the subsequent technology that arose from that is the development of a respiratory monitoring device for continuous quantitative and objective feedback of parameters of breathing. And we use ultrasound actually for that, to prevent reversible breathing complications and to shine light into the the evolution of a patient's breathing, either throughout a disease process or for a sedation procedure. So as you can see, this research into technology really originated from my clinical work. So I am still a practicing clinician. And we reached a point where as we incorporated, I felt the need, I'm missing things outside of academia, outside of my field. And even though we're excellent in our fields, we've mastered it, we are very capable, all of a sudden, I felt like there's a language out there that I didn't quite comprehend. And I call it language because it's not only language per verbatim, but the knowledge, what it takes, So I felt Equalize was an amazing opportunity when I was in your shoes last year, actually this year in the winter, that I learned that Equalize will help me speak the language of investors and for help me understand the ecosystem of their language, and meaning, understanding all the words they're using, cap tables, Series A funding, incubators, accelerators. What are the differences? What does it mean? And it's not like that is not learnable. I just never, that was not part of my language, So being paired, having the opportunity to being paired by a professional mentor in that space and learn firsthand was for me one of the best decisions that I did and made. And now fast forward, we just finished a pitch competition and we're gearing up for the next phase. So thank you for having me.
That's wonderful. I think a lot of women last year had a little hesitancy to apply for Equalize because of the potential time commitment and the value of the minimum 1 hour we ask for each mentor and mentee to spend together each month. So Gulay, if you could start, I think it would be really helpful for women to hear, what were your mentoring sessions like? Did it surprise you? Was it very typical to your other mentoring experiences you have in other organizations?
Actually, it's a yes and no in a way, so the yes is, so here I was paired with this amazing mentor, Bill Perry, and he lives in a world very different than me. And so my first pitch, just to show, it was so academic. I mean, oh my gosh, it was so verbose. And I met this person and we just had to start again, I really use the word language because we had to kind of connect and exchange ideas about, what is it that I am? What is it that what my technology is trying to convey? And I had to break down my academic language into his world. And so the meetings initially were meet and greet, just very informal. We found out a lot about our backgrounds. We both speak German, and initially just to getting to know each other in a very friendly, safe environment. And that getting to know each other then evolved more into, I know about you, let's work on the pitch, but then it became friendship. And a friendship in a way that I felt safe, that I could just write an email, and these 1 hour sessions turned into a quick email. Oh my gosh, Bill, I heard about this. I don't know how this fits into my thought process. Can you help? And he's like, oh, I know all about it. Let's meet in 2 days. And no question was silly enough. And I felt like, we know we're both busy, but just the willingness that there was some friend, it was a friend out there that just caught you where you were and said, listen, let me tell you what I know about it. And so it became more and more informal, and we just met whenever we could. It just was very natural. So it didn't feel like a burden. I think I know what you're saying is we all are very busy people. It didn't feel like a burden. It was more like I couldn't wait to meet him again, because it was growth for me. And I would have any time spent any minute with somebody like Bill Perry to find that growth that I so was longing for. So it was awesome. So it was worth for me every minute.
Thank you. So Bill Perry was new to Equalize in 2021, and Martina's mentor, Julia Charrington, you all must have had a great time because she was your mentor in 2022 and came back as a repeat mentor in 2021. And we actually had 6 people who stayed on for a second year. So Martina, Julie is a big supporter of Equalize, and I know a friend of yours now. So can you kind of tell us about how that relationship got started and where you are now?
Yeah, sure. Which actually also speaks to your amazing program, that not only participants want to join, but also mentors are coming back. It's really a fantastic opportunity. So yeah, as you said, we were asked to connect once a month, which started as once a month, and as we were thinking about how to spin out the technology, how to go fundraise, how to build a pitch deck from scratch as well, very academic from my side too when this got started. There are questions which come up, and I really want to echo Gulai's point about the safe space. As you work through re-preparing the pitch deck, there are questions coming up any day, any night, and it's really good to have someone where you can shoot an email. And it's amazing that I kind of knew after a while that I always get an answer sometimes within half an hour, and then it's like, let's talk next week. And it was really driven by my needs and my desire. How much do I want? How much time do I need? How much information would be helpful to me? And Julie has been an amazing mentor, and she is still an amazing mentor to really grow the company, to assemble the team, to find the network, as she really I was in the driver's seat. I am in the driver's seat, and she provides the resources which I'm thinking are needed, and that's amazing that you have someone who helps you balancing whatever information you need to move the project forward. So I think it's really what you need. You decide how much time you devote, and the mentors are extremely adaptable to that.
So when you talk about your network, how specifically did Julie help you meet other people? What were components of your company where you didn't even know where to begin that she helped introduce you to people?
Yeah, I was in the 2020 cohort. That was just, we started when COVID was kind of like non-existent, and then it really, it quickly turned into a virtual program, which I think is an amazing opportunity, that she made introductions to her giant field of drug development expert VCs, other professionals in this field, whether it's IP, legal, finance, and so on, regulatory. There were email introductions on which I usually followed up, and then we then scheduled a 1 hour one-on-one. Sometimes she is joining if it's from specific interest to her too. Sometimes it's only myself and that other person, and it's an hour conversation about a specific topic I'm interested, whether it's a scientific topic, whether it's a regulatory aspect. It's simple, an email conversation, an email introduction, and a follow-up with Zoom. And with most of these people, I have to say, I spoke in the first half year during the Equalize program. I followed up now, and we are still in contact, and many of them have provided significant input to what we are doing today. So it's been really fruitful.
That's great to hear. And it's definitely a goal of the program we know that women academic inventors just we've heard they don't have the networks that their male counterparts do. Gulai, did you feel like that was similar for you, or what was your relationship with Bill like in terms of expanding your network to various components of science in your startup?
Right. I agree. I concur with Martina and everything she said. And we had a lot of those conversations. Also, I need more information about regulatory and the reimbursement path, especially for health technology. It's very complex and you have to do it right. But we did a lot. So I wasn't as active in reaching out as Martina was. And I think, that again speaks to an earlier comment that you're the driver, right? You dictate what do you need at what point. I just had come out of a different program where I had already hit a lot of these regulatory and reimbursement meetings. So I tailored, just as Martina was saying, my needs to fill the gaps that I just didn't know where to go to. And it's a lot about the how to, about the, what are VCs looking for. So, but we did talk about a lot of companies, a lot of opportunities, a lot of partners that are out there with only a phone call or an email reach. And, and Bill just said, you just let me know. the next day I'll make that introduction. So I think this shows you really drive this. So you can go as intense as you want, or tailor it to your specific needs for your specific company or project, and you dictate the timeline. And I think that was very liberating. It wasn't a preset expectation, and I think that gives you a lot of freedom to feel, again, safe to do what's right for yourself.
So one thing that was different between 2022 and 2021 is we, essentially with the pandemic, our goal was to have the pitch competition in person and bring everyone together. That obviously didn't happen. And when it was over, we closed the Zoom and realized that the 12 women in the first cohort had never met each other, but they were immediately cheering for each other because they had seen their pitches all day. So for 2021's cohort, we brought them together for 3 educational sessions. In their group of 12, we had pitching 101, startups 101, and just tried to attack some of those. What is the language and vocabulary? Can we get together and talk about these kind of things? This year, we are running those sessions before the application process because most of our pitchers said, I wish I could have invited other colleagues, from my own university or other professional organizations I'm involved in, to hear this information specifically for academic women entrepreneurs. So if you're looking for any information about those, they're on the Equalize website, which is equalize.wustl.edu. Those are all in October leading up to the applications. There's even a session on 5 tips for making a great application from a woman who reviews our applications every year in both categories as well. So if you're looking for that information, please do go to the Equalize website to find that. And then we'll be looking at other ways where we can bring the cohort of women together for 2022 as well to really expand on the program. So Equalize is a startup in itself that we're moving, inching it every year to make it a better experience for our participants. So as we talk about the future, Martina, I'm curious, what's your next move? Where's your startup, and what does the outlook look like for you in the next year?
Yeah, we are super excited about the progress which we made. So to recap, Sardona was spun off from UCLA late 2020. We raised a significant seed round from a couple top tier VCs in the Bay Area. We have since obtained laboratory space and an incubator on the peninsula in San Francisco. An extremely supportive and exciting environment to grow the company. We're currently 6 full-time scientists at the bench, have aligned ourselves with about half a dozen consultants in various roles who support our drug discovery and development efforts. And as we are progressing and building out the pipeline with additional programs, we anticipate to raise a Series A late next year. And I've been extremely fortunate, as I mentioned, to raise an amazing amount of support from Julie. She's now on our board, and she continues to support Sardona as we grow, and that we can really build here an amazing company where we can do a lot of fun science and ultimately create value for our patients with a new modality to develop drugs that can target RNA binding proteins to provide benefit for the patients curing cancer ultimately.
Thank you, Martina. And thank you for always supporting the program. It's great to be able to come back to you and have someone to speak on their positive experience and your successes. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe I really want to emphasize here again, it's such a safe space where all the amazing ideas which are existing in academia, they should be brought to an entrepreneurial environment. And if you have one, you should really go for and apply for Equalize.
Thank you. And Gulay, what about you? What's next for Airflow?
Yeah, so Martina, you're my hero. So as you guys can see, it is so encouraging to see friends that transition from academia into their vision and they're living it. So Thank you, Equalize. I don't have any words to describe to the people who are listening today how impactful it was, because Equalize, through my mentor, definitely defined what my next step is going to be. And that definition is I'm going to stay as the CEO of my company. And I am right now evaluating different avenues, how to create that, whether with a sabbatical model, leave of absence model. So these are things that were not very crystal clear to me. And because of Equalize and because of that path, it only has cemented more where my heart is and where my vision is. And I'm just following my heart. And Bill, I'm just want to tell you guys, he just says, you're capable. He's like, if COVID has taught us anything, is we can't take time back. So just live the dream that you need to live. And so this is something that I might have not been able to hear in my academic environment. Yes, so we are doing exactly what the next steps need to be, talking to the next teams, identifying investment opportunities that we can pitch for, trying to line up the next needed skill levels, space. And as I said, the way how my role is going to be shaped out of the academia. So just go for it. I really encourage everybody who is dreaming, apply for Equalize. It is a good seed, the good soil.
Love that.
Love that. Thank you. I feel like that's a great conclusion there. Our applications are due November 10th of 2021. I changed my name on Zoom to be the website. I figured that might just sort of be the easiest way for people to see that. But at the same time, if you are listening or watching this, you've probably received some sort of correspondence from the Equalize program or your tech transfer office, or another academic women entrepreneur like Gulay or Martina, who thinks that you would be great for this program. So we are here to answer any questions and help navigate that process between now and November 10th. And we look forward to all of your applications. And thank you both for your time. I think if we've learned anything in the past couple of years of putting on this program, it's that there is a critical need for these sort of cohorts to move the needle on some of the goals we have to get more women inventors in these spaces. So I appreciate you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.